Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A detailed description of design criteria for a piece of work. A restriction that is insisted upon as a condition for an agreement. Naming explicitly. Patent law. A document drawn up by the applicant for a patent of invention that provides an explicit and detailed description of the nature and use of an invention. A detailed description of design criteria for a piece of work. Law. An agreement or concession made by parties in a judicial proceeding, or by their attorneys, relating to the business before the court, must be in writing unless they are part of the court record. A stipulation of fact was made in order to avoid delay. An assumption on which rests the validity or effect of something else. A restriction that is insisted upon as a condition for an agreement. A statement that represents something in words. Sort or variety. Every description of book was there. The act of describing something. A statement that represents something in words. The act of keeping something within specified bounds, by force if necessary. Concluding state of pregnancy. From the onset of contractions to the birth of a child. The act of restraining of a person's liberty by confining them. The state of being confined. He was held in confinement. The act of keeping something within specified bounds, by force if necessary. The restriction of the infection to a focal area. An act of limiting or restricting, as by regulation. A principle that limits the extent of something. I am willing to accept certain restrictions on my movements. The act of putting a person into a non-elective position. Inclined to or serving for the giving of names. The verbal act of naming. The part he failed was the naming of state capitals. Writing that provides information, especially information of an official nature. Writing that provides information, especially information of an official nature. Computer science. A computer file that contains text, and possibly formatting instructions, using 7-bit ASCII characters. Anything serving as a representation of a person's thinking by means of symbolic marks. A written account of ownership or obligation. Record in detail. The parents documented every step of their child's development. Support or supply with references. Can you document your claims? Writing that provides information, especially information of an official nature. Computer science. The structure and organization of a computer's hardware or system software. The art of assembling logical elements into a computing device. The specification of the relation between parts of a computer system. Specification of design principles, including data formats and procedures, for creating a network configuration of data processors. The learned profession that is mastered by graduate study in a law school and that is responsible for the judicial system. He studied law at Yale. A rule or body of rules of conduct inherent in human nature and essential to or binding upon human society. The collection of rules imposed by authority. Civilization presupposes respect for the law. The force of policemen and officers. The law came looking for him. The branch of philosophy concerned with the law and the principles that lead courts to make the decisions they do. A generalization that describes recurring facts or events in nature. The laws of thermodynamics. Legal document setting forth rules governing a particular kind of activity. There is a law against kidnapping. The collection of rules imposed by authority. The great problem for jurisprudence to allow freedom while enforcing order. The branch of philosophy concerned with the law and the principles that lead courts to make the decisions they do.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.